Have you ever typed a question into an AI tool, hoping for something brilliant, only to get back a response that felt, well, a bit dull, maybe generic? It's a common frustration, and if you felt it, you are definitely not alone.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really going to unpack why those AI conversations so often fall flat. This deep dive into mastering AI, prompt engineering for better results, is basically going to show us that the AI itself, it usually isn't the problem. It's almost entirely about how we ask. So we'll tackle the 5 biggest mistakes most people make, then we'll reveal 5 really game-changing techniques to get exactly what you want from AI. We'll even dive into some real-world examples, see how they work, and learn how to kind of course correct when a prompt goes wrong. You should think of AI as an incredibly smart assistant, but one that needs truly clear, structured guidance from you.
It's an interesting dance, isn't it? We sort of expect magic from tools like ChatGPT, and then when we get something unhelpful, it's easy to blame the tool. But the core insight, I think, what truly resonates here is that AI isn't a mind reader. It just can't be.
Yeah.
It creates based on patterns on these vast amounts of data it's been trained on. It doesn't intuit your unexpressed thoughts.
Exactly. If you throw a vague request its way, you're almost guaranteed to get a vague answer back. It's kind of garbage in, garbage out. But when you switch to clear, detailed, and really structured instructions, that's when the surprising, sometimes even brilliant results start to emerge. So this whole deep dive is designed as your shortcut, really, to mastering that fundamental communication. So, okay, given that, how do we begin to bridge that gap? How can we make sure AI truly understands our complex human thoughts or intentions?
I think it really comes down to being incredibly deliberate. We need to give it structured, detailed instructions. Treat it like a smart but very literal assistant.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this further then. Before we even get to the cool techniques, the powerful stuff, we need to talk about 5 things most people are doing wrong. These are the most common errors that just, well, tank your AI results.
Okay, mistake number 1. Writing vague or just very short prompts. This is like going to a top chef, handing them maybe 2 random ingredients and expecting a gourmet meal. It just won't happen. The AI simply has too little to work with. So it leads to outputs that are often random or just not helpful at all.
Right. A classic bad example would be just typing, write some advertising slogans. What do you get? You'll often get cliches like connecting passions or maybe innovation for tomorrow, stuff you could find anywhere, totally generic.
But consider the difference with a good example. Something like, write 5 slogans for Tin to Brew coffee. Okay, good start. Target 25 to 35-year-old office workers. Focus on flavor and concentration. Use a modern short tone. See the detail.
Then you get something like Tinty Brew, rich coffee, bright ideas. Ooh, nice. Or maybe fuel your focus, Tinty Brew. Much, much better, right? So the fix is basically always, always add details. Think about the industry, your target audience, the purpose of the output, any length limits, and what you want the final look and feel to be.
Mistake number 2. And this is a big one for many of us, myself included sometimes, treating AI like a Google search engine. We're just so deeply conditioned by years of using search, But AI doesn't search the web in real time like Google does. It's a generative tool. It creates based on its training data. So the fundamental shift in thinking is it's a creation machine, not a search machine.
That's such a crucial distinction. So if you ask famous tourist spots in Deloitte, you'll get a boring bulleted list. It's like reading a textbook entry. There's no smark, no depth.
Exactly. But what if instead you say, act as a local expert on Deloitte? Okay, setting a role. Write a 3-day, 2-night travel plan for a couple, mixing famous spots with less-known coffee shops. Getting specific. Focus on romantic, non-crowded activities presented in a table. Now that gives it direction. What you get back is an entirely different experience.
Well, that's beautiful, yeah. The result is a detailed personal itinerary. Suddenly you're getting suggestions like sunrise drive up Langbang Mountain, maybe, or a quiet dinner at a nearby bistro overlooking the city. See, it feels curated.
Yeah.
So the fix is ask the AI to create a specific product, an article, a plan, a piece of code, and critically give it a role and tell it how to present that information.
Okay, mistake number 3, adding too much fluff and unnecessary politeness. This one surprises a lot of people, but it's surprisingly common. We find ourselves saying please and thank you so much. We're just polite people. But the AI, well, it doesn't have feelings. And these extra words can actually clutter your instructions, making them less clear, maybe even less efficient.
Totally. You're wasting valuable prompt real estate. A bad example. Hello, could you please do me a favor? If you can, please summarize this article for me. Thank you very much. It's just wordy.
Right. The AI will still summarize. Of course it will. But you've added this inefficient layer of communication. A good example is simply, Summarize the following article into 3 main bullet points. Each bullet point no more than 20 words. Clear, concise, direct.
Exactly. The fix. Be direct. AI thrives on clear, unambiguous commands. Get straight to the point.
Mistake number 4. Trying to do absolutely everything in one giant prompt. This is a trap I still wrestle with myself sometimes, I have to admit. It's like trying to solve a huge, complex puzzle all in one go. The AI often gets confused, it might miss important details, or the output just, well, it drifts. I still find myself getting prompt drift when I try to cram too much in.
Yeah, you're basically trying to give it a whole novel to write, like asking for a complete marketing plan for a new sunscreen, including competitor analysis, social media, paid ads, email scripts, and influencer ideas. Oh, that's not just a lot. It's an entire project. It rarely works well in a single shot. The fix here is pretty straightforward. Break down complex tasks into small, step-by-step prompts.
And finally, mistake number 5. Accepting the very first answer you get. I'd argue this might be the biggest missed opportunity of all. So many people treat that initial response as final, even if it's not quite right. They just walk away, completely missing the real power of AI, which is iteration.
Exactly. The true power of AI lies in its ability to iterate and improve based on your feedback. Think of that first answer as a first draft, nothing more. Your job, then, is to be its editor. Give it direction.
So you provide feedback. You might say, make the tone funnier, or maybe add 3 specific, actionable examples. The AI isn't just a generator, it's a highly capable editor too, if you guide it.
Okay, so if we pull back for a second, it sounds like AI isn't just a fact finder, definitely not a mind reader, or some kind of one-shot genie, right?
No, definitely not a genie. It's a good way to put it. It's fundamentally a creation tool. And what I'm learning, what we're seeing, is it needs that precise, iterative guidance from us. It's almost like we're constantly refining its understanding step by step rather than just hitting a button and expecting perfect magic. Okay, now that we've cleared those common hurdles, those mistakes, let's really dive into the techniques that will truly elevate you, turn you from an average user into a skilled AI collaborator.
All right, technique number 1, first principles thinking. Now, this isn't about just copying prompts you find online somewhere. No, this is about building your own perfect prompt from scratch. Think of it as stripping away all the assumptions to get to the fundamental building blocks of what you truly need. It's a concept borrowed from physics, actually. You break down your request into its absolute atoms.
It requires a moment of deep reflection first, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have to really ask yourself, what exactly do I want the AI to produce? Who is the audience for this? What's the desired format? What background information does the AI absolutely need to know to succeed? And crucially, what are the specific constraints or boundaries?
Right. So for a job description, don't just type, write a job description. That's way too vague. Apply first principles. You'd build one specifically for, say, a content marketing specialist at an ed tech company, requiring SEO expertise, maybe targeting university students in a very specific, maybe encouraging tone. That's first principles thinking in action.
Technique number 2, the 5 boxes method. This is such a simple yet incredibly powerful framework. It really works. You just fill in these 5 elements: role, task, context, constraints, and output format. Get these 5 things down, and your prompt becomes nearly perfect almost instantly. It brings so much clarity.
Let's run a quick example, make it concrete. Imagine you're an experienced hiring manager. Okay, that's your role. Your task is to draft an email to reject a candidate named John Smith. The context is important. John has good skills, but maybe lacks practical experience for this role, and you want to stay in touch for future possibilities. Constraints, it needs to be short, professional, but also empathetic. You don't want to burn bridges. And the output format, clearly structured with maybe a greeting, the result, brief feedback, and then well wishes. Boom, 5 boxes filled.
Technique number 3, prompt chaining. Okay, for truly complex projects, this is your secret weapon. Think of it like stacking Lego blocks of data or information. You use multiple smaller, focused prompts, with each one building directly on the information and the output from the prompt just before it.
Yeah, this really helps the AI maintain focus and depth on each individual step. It prevents that drift we talked about. So imagine planning a 5-day solo trip to Hanoi. Your first prompt might be, give me 10 must-do activities in Hanoi for a solo traveler. Then your second prompt, building on that, okay, create a detailed 5-day schedule based on those activities, grouping them geographically. Third, now suggest some specific street foods to try near the locations for each day. Getting tasty. Fourth, generate a practical packing list for Hanoi in, say, October. And maybe finally, fifth, Write a short, inspiring paragraph to get me excited about my trip based on this itinerary.
See how that step-by-step chained approach yields far richer, more detailed, and ultimately much more useful results. It's so much better than one huge, overwhelming request.
Okay, technique number 4, meta prompting. Now here's where it gets really interesting and feels a little bit like Inception, maybe? This technique uses the AI itself as your prompt writing coach. It's almost like having a prompt architect right there in your chat window helping you build the prompt.
Yes. Meta prompting means you literally ask the AI to help you create the best possible prompt for your task. You might ask it something like, what information do you need from me to help me create an effective learning plan to reach a specific language proficiency goal, say a C1 level in English, within the next 6 months?
The AI will then likely ask you clarifying questions like about your current level, how much time you can study, what your weaknesses are, stuff like that. Once you've answered its questions, you then ask it to draft the optimal prompt for you to use. It's a fantastic way to ensure clarity and completeness.
And that leads perfectly into technique number 5, intelligent workflow. This is where you combine these powerful tools. You use meta prompting first to get an overall strategic roadmap, that big picture, and then you use prompt chaining to execute each individual step of that roadmap methodically.
Right, so you could start with a broad meta prompt like act as a strategic marketing expert, outline a comprehensive roadmap for launching a new online course covering everything from initial messaging to post-launch content strategy.
The AI will then give you, probably, a numbered list of strategic steps, like a project plan. And then you execute each step with specific chained prompts. So you'd say, okay, let's start with step 1. Identifying the target audience. Help me create 3 detailed potential customer personas for this course, including their primary pain points and aspirations. And you work through the list.
Whoa. Okay, just imagine scaling this kind of intelligent workflow for something huge, like a massive content strategy for an entire global organization. The implications here are enormous. The possibilities are truly huge. So to kind of synthesize these techniques, they're fundamentally about breaking down complexity, right? And engaging in a much deeper collaboration with the AI, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It shifts the entire dynamic. You move from simply commanding a tool to strategizing with an intelligent partner. And interestingly, that often forces us to clarify our own thinking in the process, doesn't it? You can't be vague with your partner.
Okay, let's see. These powerful techniques really shine now with 2 practical examples. Things you can try, like right now.
First example, drafting a LinkedIn post for personal branding. We'll use the 5 boxes method here. The bad way, as we know, is just write a LinkedIn post about continuous learning. What you get is probably generic, maybe cliche, forgettable.
The good way meticulously uses the 5 boxes. So your role, maybe you're a career development expert. Your task, create a LinkedIn post about the importance of learning a new skill each quarter. The context, share your personal story about, say, learning data analysis recently. Make it real. Constraints, maintain a positive, encouraging tone. Include maybe 2-3 relevant emojis. Ask an open-ended question at the end for engagement. And use 3 to 4 relevant hashtags. Format, structure it with a clear hook, your story, and a compelling conclusion or call to action.
And the result isn't just a post anymore. It's an authentic, valuable, and genuinely engaging piece of personal branding content. It connects.
Okay, second example, creating ideas for a short video series on TikTok. And this time we'll use prompt chaining, the bad way. Just TikTok video ideas for a cooking channel. Super general, super vague. You'll get obvious stuff.
Right. The good way starts with prompt 1. Okay, I run a TikTok channel targeting busy people, think students, young professionals. Give me 5 main concepts for video series. The AI might respond with interesting ideas like, maybe upgrade your instant noodles. Okay, that has potential.
Then, prompt 2, you chain it. Okay, I love the upgrade your instant noodles concept. Develop this into 5 specific video script ideas. Give me the dish name, any special ingredients needed, and a surprising twist for each one. And maybe finally, prompt 3. Let's choose the soy marinated egg ramen idea. Write a detailed 60-second script for that video, including suggested visuals, audio cues, and duration notes for each segment.
See, this isn't just about brainstorming ideas anymore. This transforms those vague concepts into a detailed, almost production-ready content plan. It's a massive leap forward in utility.
These examples really hammer home how structure makes all the difference, doesn't it? It takes those abstract ideas and makes them tangible, actionable.
It absolutely does. Structure really is the bridge. It transforms those vague intentions into actionable, high-quality content that actually serve your purpose.
Now look, even with all these amazing techniques, sometimes things still don't work out perfectly. It happens. Don't panic. Here's how to troubleshoot your prompts when they go a little off-kilter.
Step 1. Just reread exactly what you wrote. This might sound obvious, but honestly, it's incredibly crucial. Look carefully for missing details, any vague words like it or they, or even simple typos. Often, a tiny wording change can fix a surprising amount.
Step 2. Adjust your constraints or the requested format. If the output is way too long or too short, or the tone is wrong, maybe too formal, too casual, just tell it. You can simply say, rewrite the answer above, but limit it to 5 sentences. Or maybe, could you adjust the tone to be funny and sarcastic?
Step 3. Provide an example. This is a really powerful technique called few-shot prompting. It's called few-shot because you're giving the AI just a few examples, maybe even one, of the desired output format. You're teaching it on the fly. So if the AI isn't quite following the structure you want, show it. Give it an example, like, please list the ideas as bullet points using the following structure. Idea, name, short description, one-sentence description, target audience, who it's for.
And step 4. Sometimes you just need to try a different AI model. Seriously. Different AI models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they all have different strengths, different knowledge cutoffs, sometimes even subtly different personalities. So copy the exact same prompt you're using into another model. You might be genuinely surprised by the difference in the results. So when we're troubleshooting, it often seems like it's more about refining our own communication, our own instructions, rather than the AI fundamentally failing, right?
Precisely. It really boils down to becoming a better, more thoughtful editor of your own instructions. That iterative process, that refinement, that's where the magic really happens. Okay, for those of you who want to level up even further, really become power users, these advanced tips build on everything we've covered and can truly transform your workflow.
First up, the quick prompt outline method. This is a great habit. Before writing any prompt, just take 15 seconds. Seriously, that's it. Quickly answer these 4 questions in your head. 1, what's the final result I'm actually looking for? 2, who's the audience for this? 3, what's the specific format and tone needed? And 4, what's the absolutely essential context the AI needs to know?
Building this simple habit will help you create high-quality prompts much faster and with far greater consistency. It's a small mental investment with really huge returns down the line.
Next, really cultivate the iteration mindset. We touched on this, but it's key. Remember, even the experts rarely get absolutely perfect results in the very first try. It just doesn't happen often. So always treat that first response you get as nothing more than a draft, a starting point.
Then iterate. Give it clear, specific feedback. Make this section more specific by adding relevant statistics. Or could you adjust the tone here to be more friendly and welcoming for beginners? Maybe add a paragraph that addresses potential common objections. Keep refining. Keep pushing the AI for better, more nuanced output.
And finally, a really practical tip. Build your own prompt library. Seriously, do this. When you craft good, effective prompts that really work well for a task you do often, save them. Doesn't matter where Notion, Evernote, Google Keep, a simple text file, just create a repository for your successful prompts.
Yeah, build templates for your common tasks. Maybe writing certain types of emails, generating content ideas, problem-solving frameworks, planning outlines. This simple act of saving and reusing successful prompts will save you an incredible amount of time and mental effort in the long run. It's compound efficiency.
So these advanced tips, they're really about building good habits, right? And establishing systems for getting consistent, high-quality results more easily.
Yes, exactly. They empower you to work smarter, not just harder, and more efficiently, and ultimately with greater impact when you're collaborating with AI tools. Mid-roll sponsor read. Today's deep dive really underscores something important, mastering AI. It isn't about some secret technical wizardry or knowing complex algorithms. It's fundamentally about clear, effective communication. It's about how we interact with the tool.
Yeah, we've gone from dissecting those 5 critical mistakes that just waste your time and energy to arming you with some really powerful techniques. The 5 boxes method for that essential structure. Prompt chaining for breaking down those big, complex projects. Meta prompting for when you need an AI-powered coach to help you craft the prompt itself. And the intelligent workflow for tackling your most challenging multi-step tasks in a strategic way.
Ultimately, what we're seeing is that AI rewards clear thinking and better questions, not just sheer effort or banging your head against the wall. The more specific, the more structured your prompts are, the more amazing and tailored your results will inevitably become.
So where do you start with all this? We challenge you. Pick just one technique from this deep dive, just one to begin with. Right now, pick a task you do pretty regularly. Maybe it's drafting a certain kind of email, writing a social media post, or outlining a simple plan. and try applying the 5 boxes method to it next time.
I think you will be genuinely amazed at how much better, how much more aligned with your actual needs your AI outputs become almost immediately. The key, as always, is to start simple, get a win, and then steadily build those skills over time.
The future really does belong to people who can communicate effectively with AI. It's becoming a fundamental skill. And with these kinds of techniques in your toolkit, you're not just using technology, you are truly starting to master it.
So here's something to ponder as we wrap up. How could applying even a single one of these techniques transform just one of your daily tasks, making it not just faster, perhaps, but genuinely better, more impactful?
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Until next time.